Welcome back to my channel. My name is Peyton Hawes, and today we will be doing a recap and review of episode 3 for season 8 of Love is Blind. This is my first time doing a recap and review of this show, so it's kind of a learning progress. My notes are all over the place. I'm kind of a rambler, but I love the show. I love watching and hearing about everybody else's opinions on the show. And after I reviewed Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, everyone was like, Love's Blind next? And I was like, really? You would want that? So here I am. Episode 3 starts off with the reveal for Monica and Joey, which I call them our friends couple because they have the friends' names. Honestly, the reveal wasn't giving romantic, but I think most of the reveals give awkward. But I think it makes sense. You've never seen this person before. It's weird. It's like you fall in love with someone's voice, and it's gonna take time for that voice to connect with the person. You know what I'm saying? Also, if you've ever had any type of trauma with another human being, I think it can be really hard to just connect with a person's body like that. You can connect with someone's soul, but I think, at least for me, I have a lot of trauma, and it's easier for me to connect with someone's soul than it is to someone's body. I overthink if someone touches or something, and not in a way where I'm necessarily uncomfortable. I just overthink doing it. I'll like avoid touching people because I don't want to make them uncomfortable. But if people do it to me, what am I even talking about? I'm like so random. But literally the whole time I was looking at Monica and I was like, girl, take a chill pill. And then I was like, hold on, Peyton. Monica has a very loud, open, extroverted, cuckoo personality. And I mean that in a sweet way. And so does Joey. And he likes that. And that's who they are, and she should be authentic to who she is. So no, she shouldn't take a chill pill and try to act cool for the television. I have multiple voices talking in my head all the time. If you know, write it in the comments. Let me know. Tell me if you have multiple voices talking to you in your head, or if I should check myself into a mental hospital. But I saw some other channels saying that they didn't feel like Monica really said if she liked him to his face. And I was like, I'm sorry. She was like, your hair is so beautiful. You look so good. You look like Tarzan. That's a good thing. When I was a kid, I saw Tarzan. She was affirming him in all kinds of ways. She just couldn't stop moving. She was like, but I'm sure she was very nervous, and she's just like has a loud personality. Awkward, but I could see her watching it back and being like, oh my God, Monica. I don't think she should be pretending to be somebody that she's not. And I'm sure she had a lot of anxiety and whatnot. So I get it. I get it. Let's see. Next is Daniel and Taylor. They just had a quick little endearing date. I feel like they're not getting a lot of screen time, but Daniel was talking to Taylor about how he feels like there was a reason he was called to be on the show. He got the call and he's like, dude, why me? This is crazy. And he just feels like there's got to be a reason that he's here. I feel like he's implying my person is here maybe. And Taylor was saying that she's been questioning if finding her person, or if her person doesn't exist, or if finding that and finding her forever person is something that she'll never get to experience. And Daniel assures her that whether it's him or not, there's no chance that she doesn't end up with someone, and just affirms who she is as a person and how like there's definitely somebody out there for her. But you could tell he hopes that it is him. Sorry, I keep looking over here, by the way. My notes are over here. That's just helpful to look at them. So don't feel like you're like, look me in the eye. Anyway, honestly, I need a chill pill. Sarah and Ben. So Ben instantly comes into a date and wants to reassure Sarah about her sister and his faith, and how his faith is really customized for him and his life, and he didn't want Sarah to be sitting there feeling like this is eating at her alive, that he's this Christian guy and her sister is gay. He just really wanted to reassure her that that is not an issue for him, and doesn't want her to be sitting there thinking about that, because it's not a problem at all, and doesn't want her to worry about that. So she thought that that was very sweet and endearing of him to be thinking of her in that way and be wanting to reassure her. And then he shares a story about his childhood and upbringing and what his perfect day looked like, and how it was just one of those really traditional childhoods you hear about, waking up and old shows being on the TV and having some yummy breakfast and your friends coming over and playing in the backyard and your mom giving you lunch and snacks, and then getting into your baseball uniform and going out and playing Little League baseball, and then going to get Dairy Queen after and heading back home and doing the same thing the next day and all of this stuff. And it was just really cute. And Sarah talked about how she used to be a gamer and she would play COD and Halo and stuff like that. I play games, but not those kinds of games. I play the girl games like Sims. Anyway, I guess when her and her sister were 8 and 13, they beat some really famous team on Halo, and they were like, oh my gosh, where are you guys from? All this stuff. And she's like, we're literally 8 and 13. And she's like, we were good. And I was like, that's actually kind of cool. So Ben was just hearing about that, and he's like, so would it be okay if I proposed to you now, or... which I thought was just a cute little moment. We have Alex and Madison. Let's see. Oh yeah, so Madison gave Alex her stuffed animal that she calls Bearlian, because it's a part bear, half part alien. Oh my gosh. And she gives it to him as a gift, and she just lays out all of her feelings and just really wants Alex to feel secure in her, and that she doesn't want him to feel afraid about their differences in attachment styles and all of that jazz. And Alex seemed to really love the stuffed animal, and I think he thought that that was a very, very sweet thing for her to do. He even took it back into the men's headquarters and was showing it off to everybody, and they affirmed with one another that they love being together and they love spending time together and talking with each other, and that they just really feel connected. She started telling Alex about times where she shuts down and has PTSD moments from her childhood, which I honestly think I may have briefly mentioned that in the episode 2 video, not realizing that those were episode 3. Hopefully nobody cared that I did that. I am learning. I feel like that's not that big of a moment, so hopefully that's fine. And he was kind of nervous about not being able to have control over her feelings in that scenario, and I was just like, dude, when people have trauma and that kind of stuff happens, you're not going to have control over that. You only have control over yourself and your own thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and your words and your actions. Like, that is all that you can control. You cannot control other people. And if you expect to be able to control your partner in every scenario, things are not going to work. You have to be okay with things being out of your control and being able to be there for your partner in the way that they need. And sometimes that might mean space or patience, and sometimes that might mean connection, sometimes that might mean touch, sometimes that might mean words, sometimes that might mean you're present but silent. It's getting to know your partners and what they need in those moments the most, depending on the trauma and the person. And I don't think that that's something that Madison should feel worried about or insecure about. She should feel secure that in those moments that her partner is going to be there for her in the way that she needs. So I think it's very smart of her to bring that up. Then we have Mason and Madison having a date, and Madison tells Mason that she is primarily the one who has broken up with people in the past, while Mason has primarily been the one to get broken up with. Madison said that she feels like she's usually the one to do the breaking up because she's just been with a lot of guys who just participate in a lot of bullshit, and she's not willing to take that. She knows what she deserves, and I don't really feel like Mason gave a straight up answer. I didn't really understand what he meant, and in a way he might have not fully understood either. Then Mason and Meg have a date. Mason talks about how Meg and his relationship with Meg feel unreal and unlike anything he's ever experienced before, and Meg fully agrees. And he says he loves Meg's energy and how passionate she is and how interested she is in learning new things. And he's nervous about choosing between two women, and choosing one means hurting another, and it just feels really weird to be dating two people at the same time. And Meg prior to this was talking about really wanting reassurance that they're good. And so he was trying to give that to her in the best ways that he could, knowing that he also has feelings for Madison. But she did say that she loves that she can talk about conspiracies with him, because a lot of people will listen to her and just be like, dork. And like, he's like, no, I love that. And then they start talking about all these conspiracies together. At that point, Meg was like, if you get called to this romantic getaway, are you going to be planning on having sex with your person there, or do you want to wait? What is your plan? And he's like, I think I would plan to have sex there. I think that's an important, intimate part about being in a serious relationship. And Meg was like, I feel like I really prioritize keeping that part of myself with 4 people I am in a serious relationship with, or that I am in a serious relationship, we're in. But and Meg agrees. She says that she keeps that part of herself, the intimate parts of herself, and just basically talking about sex, and how she decided at one point that she was only going to do that with people she was in a serious relationship with. And so it's been since 2022 since she's done that. So she's really excited to be able to feel that again and have that again, because that's just fun and exciting and an important thing to her, which Mason really likes to hear. He just sounds like one excited dude in that realm. If anybody brings up anything slightly sexual, the dude's like, oh my gosh, I'm in love. And I'm like, whoa, bro, are you 12? Let's see. Next couple is Lauren and Dave. What are you guys up to? So Lauren and Dave start talking. Lauren starts talking about kids. She's like, let's talk about kids. Let's talk about what we want. She's like, she said, I'm 30 now. And once again, Dave is telling Lauren like, oh yeah, you're getting old. You better, all of this stuff. And I'm just like, look, if you've been with someone for a long time and you know that they genuinely do not care about their age and it does not affect them, then you can joke about it. You could joke about it. I can joke about that with my husband because I know he does not care. Most women who are not partnered up yet and they're getting close to their 30s or they're in their 30s and they want a family, that is a really sensitive topic because women unfortunately have a much shorter time span that they are able to conceive. So it's obvious. I know that Dave can't see her face, but it's obvious every time that she's like, dude, if you make one more joke about my age, I'm gonna flip. And I'm like, why do you like him? So, and they start talking about things around the house, and Lauren says that she wants to be with someone who can tackle anything around the house that she can also tackle. This is not going to all be on me. I'm not going to be in charge of cleaning and taking care of the entire house and the kids and all this stuff. We're a team. That is a partnered effort. Don't expect me to have it all. And Dave is like, absolutely, I agree. And then Dave tells Lauren that he could see himself proposing to her. And then while they're talking, he says, he's talking about why he likes her so much and how he feels like he can talk to her and all this stuff. And he says, he doesn't act like this in the real world. I don't act like this in the real world, is what he said. And so he's literally saying that he's not going to be like this outside of the pods or around other people. I don't act like this in the real world. So what you're giving to me is not what the rest of the world sees of you, because even if what you're giving to me is who you feel you truly are deep down on the inside, what you're showing the rest of the world and how you're showing up every day is, in a sense, still a version of who you are. And if that's not a person I like, that's concerning. Obviously, people have things about themselves that they don't love or want to change, and people have goals and different things that they are striving for. There's attributes of myself that I dislike, that I am working on, that I wish were not the way that they were. But my husband knows about them, and my husband loves those parts of me, even though I don't, and constantly affirms me and tries to help me to see the beauty in all of me, while also supporting me in my goals to want to improve in certain areas. And so you have to have the whole picture. You can't just have, I'm going to show up as the person that I really want to be right here for you, for the person I want to marry. But at least he's being honest that he said he has not had integrity in the past. I don't know if he hasn't, it didn't show on camera that he told Lauren that he cheated on somebody. I don't think he said that. He talked about being an asshole to other girls in the past, about how he's had really superficial ideas of what a woman should look like. He's saying, I don't act like this in the real world. What I'm showing you is not how everybody else sees me. I'm like, girl, I want to shake her. I don't know. I don't think he's going to propose to her. I think she deserves way better. And I'm not, in a way that sounds like so douchey to Dave. And I don't mean anything in offense to Molly, but I just feel like Molly and Dave would work better. They have a lot more similarities. They understand each other's pitfalls a little bit more. Dave seemingly can be more honest with her, and she is here for it. So I don't know. But he says he could see himself proposing to her, so I don't know. And he says he wouldn't normally go for someone like Lauren outside the pause, who just sounds just like a cutesy, nerdy teacher, where Molly sounds like someone he would go for because she's like a dancer. So weird. What's weird for me with Dave is it's not necessarily what he's saying all the time, but it's how he's saying or taking other contexts of things that he said before and adding it to what he said. And I'm like, something does not feel right about you. I don't like it. But then he goes on his date with Molly. Molly tells Dave that she's not talking to anybody else, and they start talking politics, and they both agree that they don't have to agree on everything 100%. That Dave talks about how he sees things on the right and the left that make sense, and same with Molly. They seem to be in a gray area. As much as I don't really want to relate to some of these people, I'm in a very gray area of politics. I'm a registered independent, and I feel like I'm in a gray area with politics. I'm in a gray area with religion. I'm in a gray area with life and our existence. I'm in a gray area of health and parenting. I'm just not a black and white person. I'm really not. Like, I see where everyone is coming from. For the most part, I am a very empathetic person for the most part, and I love psychology and all the stuff. I'm a very fluid person. I'm open to ideas changing and feelings changing and science changing and adapting and learning new things and growing. I don't like to be firm in things. For the most part, there are some things that I am, like especially with children and protecting our children, but that's a whole different topic. Molly said that she would happily work to help with income for the family and do that if that was needed, but she would also happily stay home and raise the children. And Dave really likes that she's flexible on that as well, and agrees that it's a good thing to be flexible in that. I'm kind of proud that Dave even brought up politics and religion, to be honest. And at one point Dave was like, if we end up getting married, blah, blah, I don't even remember what he said after that, but he said, if we end up getting married. And I was like, you're getting really close. There's already been one proposal and reveal, and people, you're telling both the people, like, I could see myself proposing to you, or if we end up getting married. And I get that if we end up getting married in such a casual sense when everyone's still seeing a lot of people, but when each girl is ready for you to propose any minute, I feel like those are really sensitive words to be using and dangling in front of them. It feels like slightly manipulative, but maybe that's just me. And then Molly is convinced that she might be Dave's number one at this point, and talks about it in the women's headquarters, and Lauren overhears, and so she gets really kind of huffy and puffy and has to walk away. And I remember my husband walked in. He had not been watching the show with me, and he's just watching and just seeing all this drama. I was like, I know it's giving mean girl energy, but I don't think she, and I was pointing to Molly, knows that the guy she's talking about is also her guy. I know it's giving mean girl, but I don't think she knows. And he's like trying to catch up. Let's see. I'm going way faster this time. One more love triangle, Devin and Virginia. I think those last people. Devin and Virginia. Devin tells Virginia that he feels like he needs to go a little bit deeper with her in order to propose. He's like, I feel like in order to propose to someone, I want you to like know everything there is to know about me, and I want to know everything there is to know about you, and I feel like that's fair for me and fair for you. And so they just like start chatting a little bit more, and it honestly doesn't even get that deep. He does ask her where she sees herself in 5 years, and she's like, I see myself pregnant with a baby on my hip. And then she makes some reference to being with Devin while he's coaching and being in the stands with her hands, one hand over here with her baby, and she's pregnant, she's getting tacos and stuff and supporting him. I saw the whole picture in my head when she's doing it, and I thought it was freaking adorable, to be honest. And then, which I don't know, I see where he's coming from, and I want to know everything there is to know about you. I don't think for a lot of people that really happens all before marriage. I feel like I'm constantly getting to know my husband, and he's constantly getting to know me, and we know each other more than we even feel like we know ourselves sometimes. But we're also always changing and growing and developing, and we love to learn, and we love to just shift our ideas around things and try new things. And so it's really fun. I feel like we're constantly learning about each other. But in the firm or stone basics of things that are just like, these are really important to me and these are probably going to stick around for the most part, do matter. Sometimes those things don't even stick around either. Religion was the most important thing to me when I met Colin. I dated one person that was not Mormon growing up, and I was kind of in a rebellious phase at the time, honestly. But I met Colin on an LDS/Mormon dating app. So it was only for other, what's it called, Christian Mingle or something like that. It was an app specifically for Mormons. So then Devin goes into a date with Brittany, and he just talks about how much he loves her energy and how he always feels happy when she comes in, and they really just vibe with one another and they like a lot of the same things. And then this part was really random, but Brittany asks what Devin's middle name is, and he says he hates it. He makes it a whole thing. You really have to be a special person to know my middle name. And then they have put it on live television, but his middle name's Early. So Devin Early Buckley is his name. I was like, why is that so embarrassing? I've never heard that middle name before, but like, I don't get why it's embarrassing or weird or why you would hate it. I don't know. I think it's a vibe. I don't know. But that recaps episode 3. That was my fastest one, guys. I'm getting a little bit better at not rambling as much. Now, tell me in the comments, do you like in the previous episodes when I ramble 800,000 times, or do you like when I'm faster and to the point? Because I feel like I want to give my opinion on what we're watching here instead of just like, here's a recap, bye. I want to be like, what the heck is Dave talking about? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and watch all the future episodes of these recaps and reviews for season 8 of Love is Blind. I'll have a playlist in the description box below. And if you like videos like this and you liked the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, go ahead and watch those too. I'll also have them in the description box below. So I'll see you in episode 4, guys. Bye.